Okay, trying to get the chat up here, folks. I'll be with you in just a minute. Seems like I'm frozen. Let's try this again. YouTube, live chat. Nope. Well, I got the measurements in the description box. Let me see if I can actually get to the stream, because I need to talk to you guys. It's like, okay, don't need that. Don't need that. This is what I need. I need the live chat. It's not working. So let me go through another way. I tell you, every week it's something different. Sorry about this. We'll be with you in just a second. Okay, and I see Leslie's here, and I see Shell is here. Hey, I finally have a feed. Woohoo! Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is in your neck of the woods. If you look in the description box below, if you want to grab a 12 by 12 piece of paper, because I know you guys are in your craft rooms and you've got stash, right? Hey, hi guys, I see more people coming in. I've got Tracy and Lindy and Holly and Sybil. You may notice that Shell is in the chat today. That's because she's off traveling, and I'm kind of hanging out here on the screen by myself. So what I've given you are the measurements to, make an insert. Now, you guys know, hey, Marilyn, how are you? You guys know I started this journal a couple weeks ago. And this is where I am with this, okay? I have a box, and what I'm doing is I'm keeping things in this box for that process, because when you're working on a big project like a journal, you need to keep the things together that you're going to use with it. Hey, Patricia. Hello. So I started pulling things out, and if you want to see, okay, you remember this was the Delusions journal that I started with, and I've started doing a little bit of stitching and stuff in here. You can see I'm putting some of those pull papers on top and adding some lace and things. And so I'm going to continue on doing that. As I go through here, I'll find things that I like that are going to work with the page, and I'll tuck them in here. I'll just add them as I go randomly. So one of the things that I've done is to collect random things that I think will work with this journal. This is just a chipboard. I've got other chipboard cuts that I've cut out of, what do they call this stuff? Grunge board, and like book plates, grunge board book plates, flowers, leaves. Thanks, Leslie. Yeah, I'm loving it too. I'm thinking this is going to be a lot of fun. So what I have are things like, this is an old journal that has journal pages in it. So I'll probably, copy some of these things to be used in here. I've started doing some copies already because this is an old book from my mother. These are color illustrations of butterflies. And I know Leslie's going to love this because she's a butterfly girl too. Hey, love to tink. Good morning. And yeah, Paula, of course. And so I took this book, it's got my mom's name inscribed in the front because I used to do that. And then I copied the page onto, this is some, what do I call that? Oh, here it is. This is some paper that I picked up at a garage sale. It was old typewriter paper, but it's got a cream color to it, you know, so it looks vintage. And so I copied a page of this so that I can add this ephemera. Okay, good. Lurking's fine. I can add this ephemera into my book. I also have one of my mother's old Oxford Books of American Verse. And, you know, these things are so old that they're not copyrighted anymore. You know, you can tell by the coloration on the pages just how old this is. But this was one of my mother's. She loved poetry. So it was one of my mother's favorites. And so I have copied, you know, here's a poem from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow about nature, which I think is appropriate for my journal. Okay, so I have, you know, I have an assortment of stuff, you know, things that I have. This is a stenciled piece, napkins that have things on them, those tissue papers that we made, those tags, you know, butterflies, all of that sort of thing that I may or may not, you know, die cuts, this sort of thing, words, tags, textural paper, more of my prints. You know, this is a altered. This is a page that I altered using Citrusolve, and it looks like a waterfall to me. So I thought, you know, I turned it into a waterfall using Citrusolve. But you can see all of those prints, all of those nature prints that I had done in a previous show are all in here. So I'm going to set this aside because I'm actually not working on this today. I'm going to show you something else. So the journal and everything can go in here. And, you know, even if I'm moving around or taking it to another room or whatever, I've got everything together. The other thing that I pulled out this morning, this is an old Webster's dictionary. I had started doing dictionary pages in here. I don't know if you guys have ever done dictionary art where you know, pull out a word and then you do colorization on the page. But this is a fun thing to do too. So if anybody's interested in doing dictionary art, just let me know, you know, because we can work on something like that too. But, you know, it's got all the words and things that can be used. So another item for my stash of things for my nature journal. Oh, I'm glad you like the waterfall. Yeah. I mean, it just, you know, sometimes things come together, right? Sometimes they just come together. So if you have a scoreboard, you can do this easily on a scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, that's okay too. Yeah, I like the idea of keeping it in one container. Then I don't lose so much stuff because, you know, when you got a studio full of stuff and you got multiple projects going on, that's what happens. I get lost. So, what did I do with it? The numbers for you are in the description box below. And, you know, if you're not doing it along with me, you can just kind of follow along. But these are the numbers, which are 2 1/2, 4, 8, 8 1/4, and then you turn to score at 3 3/4, 4, 8, and 8 1/4. So I've already done my scores, but you know, that's what I'm talking about. I would do this at what did I say? 2 1/2, and I didn't do it at 2 1/2. I actually did it at 2 1/8. Maybe that needs to be modified. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I messed it up. I've got 2 1/8, 4, 8. Did I do it at 8? How did I do this? I don't know if I need one at 8 or not. Yeah, I do, because I'm gonna end up flipping. I'm flipping both sides here, so I need one at 8. And then you're gonna turn it And you're going to do it at 3 3/4, 4, 8, and 8 1/4. Okay, so once you've got those score lines done, you're going to do some cuts. So I've got a cutting mat out here. And I need a, let me get that back with my scoreboard or I'll get it lost. I need a knife. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is community. You know, our group, for Shell and myself, let me look at this. This is going to go this way and this way. So I need to look at, so this may be in addition to the book that I'm doing. One of the things that's important to us is community, and you guys are our community. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, come on in, check it out. It's a safe place to share, and we want to keep it that way. You know, if you look at Facebook, I'm just going to make my cuts while I'm talking here. If you look at Facebook, there are different types of Facebook accounts. They're the ones that are your personal page, your personal account. And that's where you have your friends and you share, you know, what you did last night and all of that kind of stuff. Then you've got, okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking this piece out here like that. Hi, Vicki Ross. I'm online, dear.
I'm up here.
So, Peanut Gallery's talking. I also know that there are pages on Facebook. I happen to have a page. It's called Bits and Pieces by Peg. And, you know, that's where I post my art things. So, you know, if I have Instagram feeds or things coming in from design projects or something like that, my Facebook for that sort of thing is on my page. And that's not a community or a group. That's my page. Okay. And, you know, the reason I bring this up is because people have asked me recently about, yeah, good morning, Ron, asked me about the differences on Facebook. You know, how does this whole thing work? Well, our group is where you share with others. It's, you know, it's not meant for self-promotion. It's meant to share in a group. You know, some groups do swaps and things. Now, we've tried that in our group. I would like to try it again. However, I am not going to babysit people. And so in order to keep things safe, you know, I may have some specific requirements that say, okay, you have to show me what it is you're going to be swapping before I give you a name to swap with, because, you know, we've already had flakers in the group, and it's a sad thing to say. It spoils it for everybody else, but that's what happens when you're in some of these groups. You get some people who don't play by the rules, and I know you guys are good at playing by the rules, but, you know, there's always somebody that wants to spoil it for everybody else. So, you know, I would love to have a community that could share and could swap. I'm doing a swap right now with a few people for ATCs. And, you know, if you guys are interested in that, that's fine, you know, but let me know you're interested in it. And my rule would be, well, you're going to have to contact me and you're going to have to send me one first, because you know, I'm not going to send, I sent some stuff overseas to a gal because she said she wanted to swap. And unfortunately, not everybody follows through. So, you know, just saying you need to be cautious when you're joining groups and doing swaps and things. So, okay, I've got these things ready to fold up like this. This can fold down like this. And I'm going to cut some of this stuff off or make pockets or something with this. Because, you know, now this whole thing can fold up and go into my journal if I want to. I'm going to cut, let's see, I'm going to cut about, line this up. I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off the top of this. Like so. And if you're cutting something thick, it helps sometimes if you go through multiple times. Just a point. So as far as community and groups go, you know, the reason we have rules is because, you know, this is about community. This is about sharing with one another. It's about, you know, making a safe place. And we don't want to make anybody angry. You know, we don't want to, you know, have people go away because people are posting too much stuff that is, you know, material that is not appropriate for the group. And so that's what the admins have to do, is they have to monitor that kind of stuff. Hey, hi, Vicki. How's everybody doing? Okay, so I need a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut off this tab here. So you can see this is an easy way to make a pocket piece, fold out piece for a journal. You know, and then you can layer it all up with all of those. You know, I've got a lot of those papers, that I had printed. This can, you know, this can become a tab. It can become a pocket. It can fold down this way. I can fold it this way or back on itself the other way. You know, so it becomes a small book in itself. I mean, you could give this as a gift, put a belly band around it, decorate it up, and you've got, I don't know if my measurements are just quite right. This looks pretty good because I've got space to add things. See, that's why I put this extra little piece in here. It helps if you've got extra space to add things. I think I might have to cut. See how this one isn't protruding? I think I need to cut this at about 1/2 inch also. But you know, you can make these your own. You can do it any way you want to do it. But I thought, you know, when I was going through things this morning, I saw this piece of paper and I thought, oh, I should turn that into something. So, you know, I would probably, you know, put some backer papers on here. And I can do that for you if you really want me to, or I can move on and do something else. Hey, Marie. Everybody's coming in saying hi. Hi, Katie. Okay, so she's leaving to go do dinner. All right. So, you know, let's keep going here. So, does everybody understand what I'm talking about when it comes to Facebook groups and, you know, community and that sort of thing? If you're in our Art Joy Sharing group, if you go over there and look in the file section, we're not saying you can't advertise your own space. You can. There's a file there where people can put their own information. Like if you have an Etsy store, or, you know, you have, you know, go ahead and add your link into that file. Just don't put it in the main feed, because if somebody's looking for something, they can find the file. That's not blatant. It's somebody's actually out there looking and wanting to look at that file. So, hey, Shell, hope things are going well for you. But, the people who have, okay, I know that there are these things out there, these robotic things out there. The reason I know is because I have them. There are applications that will take your information and will plunk it where you want it to go. Like if I do a video and I want to advertise in my own page, it automatically links it in there for me. But I don't want that to link into every one of my groups because we have multiple groups. Shell and I have Pick a Stick Challenge, which is another Facebook group. And that is meant specifically for those people who want to do that challenge. Our Art Joy is Sharing is more of an open group where, you can share all of your art. It's just, come together as a community. We even have a mentorship program. So like if you're working towards something and you don't know how to do it, you can ask for help. If you don't need a mentor for a long period of time, you can just ask in the group. But I mean, if you need somebody to, come and walk you through something. Like I had a gal ask me about getting started on YouTube. And so, I was mentoring her and trying to help her learn the things that she needed to know in order to get started. Hey, Judy. So that's the differences between, a page, between your own personal Facebook, between a group, between a business and what our group is like, so I just want you guys to understand why we have some of the rules that we have. And, sometimes it may seem like we're having to be harsh or get rid of something that is in the feed, but, there's appropriate places for it. And if you don't know what's appropriate, then ask the admins. It's not just my group, but ask the admins in whatever group that you're in. Okay, lecture over. So, what am I doing today? Okay, I thought I would do, I've got, this is the ATC challenge, and this one is the altered tag challenge for the month for Pick a Stick. And remember, I was telling you, I got more than one group. Also, like if you're selling things, make your own page for selling or do it on Facebook selling, or, I've got my own stuff for selling, but it doesn't have to be in those groups because that becomes annoying. And then people leave the group because they're angry because inappropriate stuff is being posted. Okay, so first step on this one is bleach. Okay. And let me tell you, I had some fun because I went to my cupboard and I got my Clorox, and yeah, this is old because I don't use bleach very often. And I tried it, had absolutely no lasting effect. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get a brush. Something that I don't love because bleach will eat your brushes. And a cup. And see if I can pour this without spilling it. Okay, so this is just Ultra Clorox regular. And, I've done this many times on many things, and I put it on the cardstock just like this. And typically what it'll do is change the color of the cardstock. It'll bleach it, right? Yeah, that wasn't happening because my bleach got too old. So if you're having issues like that, that's what's happened. Your bleach has been sitting around too long. So just know that that's what happens. So I went to the store and I picked up a new bottle of bleach, and I found this splashless bleach, which I didn't even know they made. That's how often I buy bleach. Oh, redwoods. Oh, that sounds like fun. My son just came back from there. He was out in California about a week ago. And yeah, they were up in the redwoods and doing some fun stuff. So anyway, so this stuff, it's called splashless because it's a little bit thicker, I think. So this stuff I found I actually could, let's put some of this down next to the other. Lift the color from the paper, and you can see it starting to work right away. And this paper tends to want to turn pinkish. So you let it sit on there for a little bit, and it's going to bleach some of that color out. And, it really depends on the colors that they use when they make the paper. Elephant seals. Oh, yeah. Okay, and the other thing that I picked up, excuse me, I'm getting dry. I need my coffee. I didn't sleep that well last night. Did you guys sleep okay last night? Okay, get my sip of coffee. So you can see it's starting to get whiter around the edges here. And I can actually wipe some of that back. And you can go over it multiple times, but it's lifting. But then the other thing I picked up was this bleach pen. Because I remember we used to do some pretty cool effects with these. And it's the Zero Splash bleach in a pen form. So like if you want to draw, if I want to draw shapes, I can do it with this very easily because it's bleach in a pen form. Okay, so what's fun to work with when you're working with bleach? Well, bleach is the first prompt on the Artist Trading Card Challenge. 52 seconds before the stream? Oh, you're a brave girl. You came right in. Have you had your coffee yet? Yeah, it is terribly expensive. California is not an easy place to live. Okay, so I thought, let's see, this is the artist trading card. So I need to cut some cardstock down to size. And I think I'm going to use this other color. Artist trading card is 2.5 by 3.5. Yeah, stamps and stencils, absolutely. So I'm going to cut this at 3.5 and 2.5, and I may use the rest of this on something else. So, bleach. All right. I have this artist trading card stencil from Guess Who? Stencil Girl. And I wanted something symmetric. So I'm picking, this is a Pam Carricker stencil here. And it has the innie and outie, so that I can actually bleach the face on here. And I think I'm just going to start with doing just that. I'm going to get a sponge, reach over and get a sponge. It's not the kind of sponge I want. I just want a makeup sponge, and get Get my sponge in the bleach. I don't want it soaking because I don't want it going under the stencil. You see it's dripping already. Oh, and it's dissolving this sponge. Okay. Evidently, bleach and this type of sponge don't work really well together. Good to know. All right, I'm gonna get a different sponge. Maybe I needed a not a synthetic sponge. I don't know. Now I've moved my stencil. Okay, off to a good start. Let's try this one. See how it works. If it works any better. So all I want to do is bleach out where the face is going to go on here. And you can see it's working its magic. So you like the bleach pen, huh, Sybil? Yeah, I just still wearing your apron. Okay. I just went down to the grocery store last night. And as I was picking up bleach, I thought, okay, I'll get some of that too. All right, now I'm going to put this back. And honestly, I should tape this down. So I've got some frog tape. And I'm going to tape the, I guess I don't need my paper under there. I'm going to tape the top of my ATC, and I'm going to tape the mask portion of the stencil. Have an amazing day, Tracy. Okay. So I've got that. I want to take some archival ink. And I'm just going to try to do a little halo around here. Get my shadowing in. And something else that is symmetric are these pattern things, pattern stamps, right? So I'm just going to ink this up. Remove that for a moment. And stamp that for my background. So now I have the face area. I don't know if you guys have seen these yet. These are the color box cleaning pads. They've got actual cleaning stuff in them. It's a nice thing when you're on the go to clean that ink off with. It does a good job. Because if I wanted to go back to another color or something, I don't want that black ink on there. All right, so I've got that much. Hey, Sherry. Okay, no problem. You can always catch up later, right? So I'm going to go back to this bleach. I want to see if I can do it a little more highlighting with that. I'm going to grab a water brush. These are those Pentel water brushes, and grab some bleach. And I want to, I want to do the eyes. So I want to bleach them out more. So I'm going to add more bleach here. See if we can get it to lift some more. And we'll also get the highlights on the face with a little more bleach. Down the nose, right? Get the bulb of the nose. Get the mouth. We'll get the chin, because the highlight would hit there. We'll see what this paper does, because every paper reacts differently. Let me see if I can get in here any closer. Yeah, there we go. Every paper reacts a little bit different. And you can see what it did with the second application is it just turned more brown instead of the reddish brown. So depending on the paper that you're using, you're going to get different effects. See if I can put a little more in the eye socket. And then a little down here on the cheek. We'll see what that does. Okay. So let's let that sit for just a little bit. See if it bleaches out anymore. No, this is bleach on paper, Vicki. Bleach on paper. This is colored cardstock. I'm just lifting the color from the cardstock using the bleach. Okay. So can you guys see what's happening here? And I'm just using a tissue, Kleenex, to mop some of that color back. Thanks, Holly. Yeah, that's kind of fun, isn't it? So what I started with, Vicki, was just, some color cardstock like this. All right. Then I used the ATC stencil, right? It has the mask with it. And because the prompt from Pick a Stick says bleach and illustrate and symmetric, I'm using a symmetric figure because it's a frontal picture. And using that to make my illustration. Hey, Lindsay. Lindy? Mr. Clean? Yeah, it does kind of look like Mr. Clean at this point, doesn't it? And he is clean because he's got bleach all over him. So, but, you know, I just want to show you that there are multiple applications for using this. Now, I'm going to dry this a little bit. Bear with me. So, you know, now that I've got it bleached out and to this point, I've still got my color on the background, but I can come in with pen and start doing the illustration portion of this. So, you know, you can add your eyebrows. And your eyelid. And the pupil. You know, and then you're going to add to your illustration until you're happy with it. And I want some shadow under here. So I'm just going to do a little cross hatching under here. You know, and so far I've had my pen, the cardstock, and bleach, right? And so now, you know, yeah, it's a bald person. Hey, Mark. But that can change. You know, you can add a hat, you can add hair. You know, it doesn't take much to add a hairline to this. And this you could do with any number of things. I mean, you can start adding paint. You know, there are other things that you can add to this. If I want to brighten the eyes, you know, I can take a, this is a white pencil. I can come in and add some brightness to the eyes. Same thing down the nose, you know, you can get those areas that you want to brighten. And I think, what have I done now? We've done bleach, illustrate, symmetric. I think I just need to, what do I do with that other pen? I tell you, every time I'm looking for something. Whoops, that's not the one. Oh yeah, there's the one. This is a Pentel brush pen. Very nice. I love these. Yeah, this is the ATC challenge from Pick-a-Stick. And I'm just going to use this Pentel brush pen to add in so she doesn't look bald anymore, right? You see? And, you know, then you can keep on going. You can just keep going. You can add, let's see, here's a, I don't know if I want to go pure white, but what the heck, you know? I've got a Signo, and I'm just going to add some Signo. Yeah, I don't like the white. Really don't like the white. Way too stark. So, you know, if you're going to do that, you probably want to tone it down. And then all we have to have is some kind of quote, right? So let me see what I've got here. Pull out my book of goodies. And actually, she could have had a butterfly on her head. She could have had something like that. You know, I'm just saying, she could have had all kinds of things. So let me see what else I've got in here. This one says, all her dreams would come true. Which I think is pretty appropriate because we met the challenge with that, right? And just put a little frame on that because I can. Okay, so there's our ATC challenge for Pick a Stick. Oh, platinum. That's what I'm missing is the color. All right, so what do I have? I've got, this is a Shiva oil stick. In a platinum shade, right? So let's just edge with platinum with the oil stick. Thought I was missing something, and I was. You weren't screaming at me, Shell. Okay, so there you can see it. All right. Mrs. Clean, yeah. You got that right. All right, so that's the artist trading card challenge. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Wonder if I can get through this. Copy, monoprint, stamp, and bleach. Altered tag. All right, what I did this morning, I wonder where those are. Let me look. I had I have this pre-gessoed burlap, right? Like so. And I ran it through the die cut machine and cut a couple of tags out of the burlap. And copy. I need to use a copy on here. So where are my nature copies? Grab some of that. Okay, here's that butterfly copy that I had shown you guys that I printed out of the book. So let me just take a piece of this. Actually, a couple pieces of this. And those will be my copies on my tag. Monoprint. Okay, so I need to monoprint something on the background. American Gothic woman. You think so? Okay. You know, I live in Iowa, so Grant Wood and I are like this. I love to go out to the area where he used to do his paintings and stuff. All right, so monoprinting. I have a gel plate, and let's use okay, I grabbed some colors that I think are appropriate for what I've got going on here. Where do I live in Iowa? In Cedar Rapids. So I've got True Ochre. This one is Hauser Light Green. And this one is Paper Artsy Butter. So let's use those three, shall we? Use those three. I think I better plug in my gun too while we're at it. Get that heating up in case I need it. So when I'm working on something this small, I need my small brayer. And Spencer, okay, I know where Spencer is. Actually, my husband is from the Audubon area. So, yeah. We go, and my brother-in-law, I think, was from Spencer originally. So, I don't know. I don't know Western Iowa that well, but by association, I do. Oh, dear. Thought I had that shaken. Got to shake it more. Shake it up. Shake it up. Thanks, Judy. You know, and this tag that I'm making right now is going to be appropriate for that journal because it's got these antique things in it. So I'm just going to put the tiniest little drop out here like so. And I'm going to blend these out. Another little drop of that. See if my green. Oh, I haven't been into this one yet. You do such a good job of wrapping them so that I can't get into them. Okay, so University of Iowa, absolutely. Yep, we're down there a lot. I started work on my graduate at the University of Iowa. Okay, so getting the green down. And while I've got excess on here, I've got this other little tag. I think I'm just going to put some of that off onto this other piece of burlap. And now I'm going to come into this ochre color. Start blending that in. Add that. And then we're going to go to the lightest color. This is not the way you should do it. You should start with the light, right? Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so got that all blended out. And I'm going to get a stencil. Because I think that would be cool to have something textural. I like this one. That kind of reminds me of a rock wall. I don't know if it's big enough. We'll give it a go. I might have needed the bigger stencils for this, because this is, yeah, I think I need the bigger stencils for this. We'll grab the next set up, you know, because these come in different sizes, in case you didn't know that already. And my paint is drying and I don't have a stencil out. Good move, Peg. Yeah, perforated edges would be a wonderful idea, Holly. Why don't you suggest that to the maker of these? Tell you. Okay, so here's one that has kind of a hodgepodge mixture on it. So we'll use this one. And I'm just going to set that down on here and do my printing on that canvas. See how this turns out. Because it's textured already, you know, I'm not sure how this is going to work on a monoprint. But hey, it did pretty good, right? Did pretty good. Okay, now I still want something up here at the top because there's nothing there. So I think I'm going to come back and try to pick up a little of that. Like so. See what we get. It also cleans my plate, right? Yeah, it just gave it a little bit of colorization. Not much. Because it was getting pretty dry. All right. So we've got this. I can set my monoprint aside. My gel plate. Put my stencils up. Get them out of the way. And, oh dear. I need some color. I think I want some, let's get some dandelion here. And I'll get a tool. Get right on that. Okay. It is a good idea, isn't it, Laura? I like that idea. So I'm going to add some archival ink in here on the edges just to deepen it. Like so. How are we doing on time? Oh, I got about a half hour. Yeah, I like that. Right? And that was the dandelion. I think a mess at my table now. All right, so we have these pieces, and what is the next prompt? Where is my list? Oh, on the back of the paper I was just using. It was copy, monoprint, stamp. Oh, I need to stamp. Okay, I can do that. Let me grab a stamp here. Let's get something with a, I don't know, do I want a cinnamon or do I want a, let's go with this. I think that's more appropriate. Let's do that in a brown. I've got a sepia here, which is kind of a reddish brown. And I probably need a stamping mat for this just because this is textured. Not too sure how this is going to work. We'll give it a try. This has some roses on it, which is nice. Which ink pad, Mark? Oh, this one? I don't know. These are really old. Okay, so you can see I got a little bit of the musical notes and stuff going on back here. I'm gonna repeat that down at the bottom just to add a hint. I'm gonna mask that. Okay. All right. So there's that. And I'm going to use the sepia on these pages. Just kind of helps tie things together. And then I made a smudge. Oh well. It's just a tag. Just a tag. Makes it look more aged, right? Actually, I could crumple that up and make it look more aged. Why not? And as long as I've got that out, also do this. All right, so that's the canvas. And I think I would like to mount that on the cardstock. So, what did I do with my cutter? I tell you, I'm losing things already today. I'll just grab another one. I'm just going to eyeball it about there. And about here. All right. So got that. And that's going to stiffen that canvas up, you know, because this stuff is like this, okay? And I want a stiffer card behind it. So, oh, and there's my other cutter. It was hidden underneath the stencil. Okay, so just gonna trim off the corner. Like so. I need to punch the hole, because we need to add fiber at some point, right? Everybody needs to add fiber. Okay. So we got a little fun stuff going on out there. All right, so there's that. Going to go back to my black archival. Sorry, guys. Don't need any of those funny business stuff. All right. So we've got that done. And I'm just going to take some glue, wherever I put it. Here I've got some multi-matte medium. And a little bit of glue stick to hold it in place while it's drying. Sorry, guys, we don't need nonsense here. All right, so gonna glue these down. Like so. And I think I might even put this on the back side. It's about the thistle butterfly. Yeah, let's do that, because that's the kind of butterfly it is. Anybody else collect butterflies? My mother was crazy about collecting butterflies. Yeah, yeah, let's not have any nonsense. Don't need that. All right, I want a glue stick for this because that's going to be the best way to just put that down in a hurry. Just like that. So this can be added to our journal. And I need some fiber. So let me grab some of that. This looks like it might work with that. Might be a little bit bright. I don't know. We'll see. This is just rags. It's kind of like fabric. You know, sometimes you have a piece of something in your closet you're not wearing anymore. I've done that. I've taken my old shirts and cut them up to use in my collage. You guys do that? You guys ever do that? Yeah, some people just don't learn, do they, Holly? Then they get a reputation. All right, so I think we've got our tag and we've got our ATC for the month. So I feel pretty good about getting those done. Just have to pull these up, tighten them up a little bit. I've got a few minutes left. So there's the tag. Should have something on there for a saying, right? How about simplified? I like that. I'm always trying to simplify. That actually was my theme word for this year, was simplify. So how are we doing? ATC and oh, we didn't use bleach yet, did we? Mm-hmm. Should have done that on the background there. Let me see if I can get away with that now. Or maybe just use a little bit on here. Bleach. We need bleach. See if I can gently do it around the S on this tag here. See what it does. It's turning that paper blue. Interesting. Maybe if my brush wasn't so dirty. Note to self, when bleaching, do not use a dirty brush. Or use a dirty brush, because then you get the blue on there. I don't know. But I like that little tag, so I'll just get a thread. Let me grab a thread. So I've got some of these little, these are, I think my friend sent me these from Daiso. Isn't that cute? So I'll just use a piece of this and tie this tag on. And that's not staying down, so I think I need some glue on that. Map meeting for the airplane. Yep. They're small. Well, and the thing is, you can refill those, so don't throw the bottle away when you're done. Just saying. Do not throw the bottle away. Okay, so we've got this. And I think I can just tie this on the top. Trim that back. And get a clean surface here for you guys. So there's the tag. And yeah, Mod Podge is tough on me. It stays way too sticky. Okay, so we've got the ATC, we've got the tag, we've got an extra one that we can work on. We've got this piece, which I can now start cutting and layering things onto. So I'm going to get my ruler here. This is actually about, I think if I cut it 3.5 by 3 3/4, maybe. Let me try that. 3/4. Oops. Ah. Yeah, 3.5. So this is just going to be a base mat. 3.5. Quarters by 3.5. And I think that's going to be the same down here. So I can start gluing those in place. Bleach and platinum, yeah. Those were not easy ones, were they? So I will keep working on this. We're kind of out of time for today. I've got just a few minutes left to the show. Anybody have any questions about Facebook groups and what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate? You know, you can always message us if you have questions. I hope that you guys have joined us on Art Joy of Sharing Facebook group. We're always glad to have you. Remember, it is an opportunity to share and to grow and to, you know, help others grow and learn too. So, yeah, like I said, this is going to be, I'll end up putting paper on all of these things, and then I have a place to have a fold out or a pocket, you know, so even something like this can fit into one of these pockets, you know, because it's got opening on the side too here, so you can put something like this down in here if you wanted to, right? Of course, it would probably look better if I had the other way out, like so. So, I mean, this is just a way to add to your books. These are all things that can fit into your books. So, you know, whether I'm layering this in here, you know, putting my ATC in there, my tag in there, any of this is going to work. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions, I think that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're playing along with our challenges each month. And if you're not, you know, think about it, or think about what it is that you like, and join a Facebook group, join a community. You know, that's what they're there for, is to share. So I'm glad you're here. And next week, Shell should be back live with me. Thanks, Leslie. And we love you all and hope you have a great day. And we'll see you again soon. So bye for now.